Hi everyone, I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma. We're here today to talk about our assessment day, as we call it our Career Focus Day. Our Career Focus Day is a day in the life at PwC. It's designed to be an immersive experience and made an entire difference to anything you've ever experienced before. So we thought we'd answer some questions and give you some hints and tips about our day.
So a lot of you have been asking about how can I prepare for the day. So there's a couple of ways of thinking about it. So what do you do a couple of weeks ahead and maybe in the few days before the event? Now, when you book onto the event, you'll get a call from a PwC recruiter. We call it the Candidate Connect call. And the idea of this really is just to help you understand some of the logistics of the day, how long it's going to take, when you need to be there. So just to really help you feel comfortable. After the call, it's really good, I think, just to start to familiarise yourself a bit more with the role that you're applying to do, but also some of the other offerings that we have at PwC. Because the event is meant to be a day in the life of, you'll be working with people who've applied to different parts of the business, and therefore having an understanding of each of those is a good thing for you to do. As the day draws nearer, just have a bit of a think about logistics, where you need to be, when you need to be there. Assessment days take place all over the UK and it might not be somewhere that you're familiar with. So just make sure your travel plans are booked well in advance and you know where you're going. Have a think about what you want to wear. At PwC we dress for our day, which basically means that if we're with a client, we'll try and mirror what they wear. But in the office, we tend to be a bit more casual. We don't recommend wearing a suit, maybe something that you just feel comfortable in. If in doubt, smart casual is probably the go-to.
So what happens on the day when you arrive? So when you arrive at PwC, you'll be greeted by a host. A host is here to help you through the day. They're not there to assess you, and they're there to answer your questions during the day. The host will hand you over a laptop, which will give you access to your own emails and also to a personalised calendar. And then it's over to you. So your calendar tells you where you need to be, when your meetings start, when you've got some downtime, and you will follow your calendar throughout the day, interacting with your colleagues, people that you're on the assessment day with, and also with PwC staff. During the day, you'll attend some meetings, you'll have time to work on a written analysis exercise, and you'll also have to do a short presentation as well to the client about the work you've been doing over the day. The assessment day, you obviously will be surrounded by assessors. They're there to sit in the room and they'll watch you interacting, but they won't necessarily be interacting with you one-on-one. They're there to, observe the day around you.
In terms of what we're looking for, a lot of questions about this, and really it's all centred around what's called the PwC Professional, and that is our global leadership framework, and it covers 4 main domains or attributes. So we look for whole leadership, we look for business acumen, relationships, global acumen, and technical capabilities. So a real kind of top tip before the day is just to have a look at that framework. It's on our careers website, and we talk to you a bit about what each of those domains covers to make sure you know what we're going to be looking for as the assessors of the day. But each of those attributes will be looked at various different points over the course of the day. So for example, relationships is one of those things where we're looking at how you communicate maybe with other people in a verbal capacity, but also how you communicate in a kind of a written capacity during the analysis exercise. And at PwC, we're a people business, so this is a really important part of what we do. How do we look at complex information, how do we interpret it, and then how do we share it in a clear, concise and understandable way? So that is key, not just in the kind of the verbal talking sense, but also in the written sense as well.
Because the day is designed for you to really live a day in life at PwC, we're looking for you to be yourself. So if your strong points are the analytics side and data, then show that. If your strong point is relationship or bringing in wider knowledge, then bring that with you. You're not in competition with each other on the day. In fact, your assessment day could be full of people from different lines of service, different internships, graduate programs. Instead, we're looking for you to be you, watching how you interact with your colleagues, how you take on large information and how you share that, but also how you deliver your viewpoints and how you listen to your colleagues' viewpoints as well.
And a lot of people ask us, how do I stand out on the assessment day? And really the advice I often give is just really not standing out for the wrong reasons. So it's all about being yourself, as Emma says. We want you to be you and bring to the table what your strengths are, but also be aware of the kind of the broader scale of the PwC professional that we are looking at. But what we don't want you to do is to try and think about, second guess what it is that we're looking for. So going to that room, being the dominant, the loud person who wants to project manage everything, wants to put their ideas across and really kind of take over the conversation. That is generally not the best way to behave. Similarly, if you're quite a quiet person, a bit of a wallflower, and you do struggle to get your ideas across, actually finding your position in that group and adapting on the day, because your ideas invariably are going to be as valuable and as kind of worthwhile as anybody else's. And every assessment day will be different. You'll have different personalities, and in fact they will evolve throughout the day as well. So if you do find yourself perhaps being a bit more quiet and reserved towards the beginning of the day, you may well warm up and become a bit more vocal towards the end, and that is fine, as long as throughout the whole assessment centre we have the opportunity as assessors to look across